Hello, hi, it's Pete, and today what I want to do is have a quick look at Google Keyboard, or Gboard as it's now known. Now the Gboard is the default keyboard on most Android devices. If it's not, you can always download it from the Play Store and install it and make sure it's working. So the first thing I'm going to do is have a quick look at the Google Keyboard, and there it is in all its glory. The top bar is actually called the top bar because it's the bar at the top, which is wonderful stuff. And it actually helps in terms of various bits and pieces. So for a start, it's got a series of icons at the top there that will actually help you to get into settings and various other bits and pieces. If you're actually starting to type, then it will actually suggest spelling for the word that you're actually typing, and it may well suggest additional words as you're actually starting to work. Here, if we go down onto the top bar, we can see the two little first icons that help us with GIFs and emoticons. So these are little smiley faces and things like that that you can put onto your keyboard. We've then got the settings key, the cogwheel, and that will allow us to get into the settings and we can play about with various bits and pieces. We will have a look at that a little bit later on. Next to it, we've got the floating keyboard. Then we've got the Google Translate, which allows you to translate your text into different languages. If you click on Translate and select the languages that you want to work with, so English to French, for example, then as you start to type an English word onto the keyboard, it will translate that into a French word and put it above in the text area. So it means that you can actually easily send messages to people who speak different languages, or indeed you can sit next to somebody in a cafe or whatever and communicate even if you don't necessarily speak the same language. The next one across the three dots means that there are additional options available that won't fit across that bar at the top. The final option on the top bar is the microphone, and this is text to speech. So if I click onto the microphone and I've got it turned on in my system, then I can just talk to my keyboard and it will translate the words that I'm speaking directly onto the screen. So it saves me having to be able to type at all. And it's a fantastic tool when it's required. Below there we've got the QWERTY keyboard. Now the QWERTY keyboard is called QWERTY because of the first 5 letters on the top line of keys. Q-W-E-R-T-Y, QWERTY. And again, as you can see, it's a standard layout for most keyboards. If you want a different layout, then we can go into settings and make that change. Then we've got the backspace key. Now the backspace key allows you to delete a character to the left of your current cursor position. There we've got the enter key. So that's the new line key. So when you're typing and you need a new line, a new paragraph, you can just tap on that key and it will actually bring you down onto the next line. Then we've got the shift keys. The shift key allows us to translate the text into uppercase or lowercase. Now, the Google Keyboard will try to help where it can. So after a full stop, it will put the keyboard into uppercase mode so that it will automatically start a sentence with a new capital letter. It will also start a line with a new capital letter, and it's up to you whether you actually want to change them or not. The 1, 2, 3 buttons at the bottom corners, that will actually translate into, change a keyboard into a numeric keyboard. And again, as you can see, when you've got the numeric keyboard up, which is highlighted there, you can see that the 1, 2, 3 is changed to ABCs, which will switch you back onto the ABC keyboard. We've then got the little globe icon. Now you may not have the little globe because the globe only comes into play if you've got more than one keyboard attached to your screen. If you've only got the one keyboard, then it will not show this globe. But if you've got a handwriting keyboard associated with your device, as well as the QWERTY keyboard, then it will show that. And of course, you can also have keyboards in other languages, so that you can actually have a Spanish keyboard or a French keyboard, so you've got better access to the various accents or whatever that's being used. The next bar across is the space bar. And the space bar again allows me to put a space in between words. Again though, what it's also got hidden inside of it is that if you actually place your finger on the space bar and slide it towards the left, then it will move the cursor into the words on the left, so you can position the cursor if you needed to do any editing or whatever. So there we've got the little icon again, which is another way to access the icons that we've got from the top bar. And there we've got the Google Keyboard. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over onto my tablet so you can actually see the Google Keyboard in action. So here we are on the tablet now. Welcome to Google Keyboard. So here we've got the keyboard ready for use. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press on the settings key to bring up the settings. So we'll go into languages first of all. And the languages gives me access to the various keyboards and languages and layout that we've got. As you can see, mine is set to English UK QWERTY. Down at the bottom there, I've got the ability to add a keyboard. So here I've got the available keyboards in lots of languages that I can choose. But what I've also got is inside of English, I can also choose to add a handwriting keyboard. And that's what I'm going to do at the moment. So I select the handwriting keyboard, click on Done, and there it is. I've now got an English handwriting keyboard. Moving down below into Preferences. Here, as you can see, I've got various preferences. Across on the right hand side there, you can see I've got a little slider that I can slide to left or right to select either the number row, which gives me 1, 2, 3 across the top, or indeed I've got the Show Language Switch key, which is that little globe, and it will only show if I've actually got something that's worth seeing. So I've now got 2 keyboards, so that will be there. The next is the layout for the keyboard height. Now it's currently set to normal, but I can change it to extra short, short, mid short. There's not a great deal of difference between any of these, to be perfectly honest. But again, if you just need that extra bit of real estate so you can see what you're typing, then it's well worth doing. Next one down is the sound on the key press, which I find particularly annoying, so I always turn it off on all of my machines. You can choose the volume on the key press as well. Mine is turned off and it's set to 0. I like to be sure. Next, we've actually got a couple of buttons or a couple of options that allow us to deal with the way we actually, or what we get when we press a key. Haptic feed press would buzz the keyboard to show that you've actually pressed a key. Pop-up on key press would actually show a letter. So if you press letter A small letter A would appear just above the key so that you can see you pressed it. And for long press, if you hold the keyboard down, you'll actually get symbols that's available. So try the letter E, for example, to get accented E's. And then you can define what a key long press actually is. Finally, the flick input is when you're actually using the sliding keyboard, which we'll have a look at in a few moments. Back to settings and then down onto themes. So this is where we can actually choose the colour of the keyboard, and we can change it to anything that we actually want, or in fact anything we don't want. You can also have pictures in the background and different types of shading to make life a lot more easy and to personalise the keyboard. You can also design your own theme if that's what you like. Let's have a quick look at text correction. So the text correction will allow us to show suggestion strip, so it would actually help you to correct your text as you're working. I've also got next word suggestion turned on. Block offensive words so that I don't inadvertently have rude words appearing on my screen. Suggest contacts would allow you to have, if you start to type somebody's name and they're in your contacts, it'll bring their details up. Smart compose will allow you to actually build a letter just by suggested words using Google's artificial intelligence. Auto correction will correct words as you're actually typing, which is very useful if, like me, you can't spell any word that's got an I and an E in it. And undo auto correct on backspace means if you touch the backspace key, it will undo the auto correct, so that you can actually hopefully get around some of the problems renowned for caused by, being caused by autocorrect when you're typing. We've also got things like undo autocorrect on backspace, we've mentioned, auto space after punctuation, so add a space in after a question mark or an exclamation mark, auto capitalize at the beginning of sentences, double space full stop, which is something that I actually love, and then we've got the spell check, which is a superb tool. Spell check also allows us to have a private dictionary. So now we're on to glide typing. Glide typing is, if it's turned on, would allow you to actually glide your finger over the keys. So having to do, instead of hunt and peck, you can just glide your keyboard. So here's a quick example. So there's the word hello being slid over to actually create the word. Now glide typing for people who are aficionados, find it a lot faster than actually using the hunt and peck method, trying to find the keys that they want on a keyboard. There's the change keyboard option. Using the slide key on the spacebar allows me to actually skip across to find various words, and I can go back and add in commas and question marks to make sure that my grammar is correct. So there's the options for glide typing. Show the gesture trail is the blue line hiding behind it. Enable gesture delete would allow me to delete by sliding from the delete keyboard, and the cursor control I can use on the spacebar just by sliding left on the spacebar. Voice typing, if it's turned on and you've actually got the audio set, will actually allow you to speak directly from your directly to your keyboard, and it will actually record whatever text you've actually got and change it into text for your messages or your documents. Clipboard is where if you copy text from one place, you can paste it into another place. This I find particularly useful is when I'm having to type in security codes from emails into banking apps or whatever. I can copy and paste the number in there quite easily. The next one down is dictionary. You've got a personal dictionary, and you can add in words that you use that other people may not use. So for example, if you've got people with a particular spelling of a name, you can add it in there. Also, you can do things like add in abbreviations for phrases that you use a lot. So if I use have a nice day a lot, I can just have the tap letters HD and change that so when I type HD, it will actually change it to have a nice day. So let's see that in action. And there's have a nice day highlighted in the middle there, ready for me to change it to. Okay, so here's the emoji stickers and GIFs and things of that nature. And now we've covered the key features of the Google Keyboard. So all I'm going to do now is stop at this point, and if you've got any questions, stick them underneath, and let's hope you have a nice day. Talk to you later. Bye.